In recent memory, many footballers have flocked to leagues such as the MLS and Saudi Pro League to get a large paycheck before retiring. But all the way back in the 1950s, it was Colombia that many players were flocking to. Due to the Colombian Football Association breaking away from FIFA, they were not legally required to pay transfer fees. For a few years, the league had several stars, and although it would come to an end, it was considered a golden era for Colombian football. This is a story of the rise and fall of the Colombian Pirate League. The late 1940s had seen Colombia enter a period of civil war, starting with the assassination of presidential candidate Jorge Gaitan in 1948. The conflict over the next decade would see between 200,000 and 300,000 people killed. The government was keen for a distraction. Colombia had fallen far behind their South American neighbours in the rise of football, still not having a professional league. Many were unhappy with the amateur game that currently existed, the clubs simply playing each other in exhibition matches and some players being paid under the table. A league was set up in 1948, ran by ADA Football, who had previously governed amateur football in Colombia, and DIMAYOR, the league's organising body. However, a dispute soon broke out between the two organisations, and DIMAYOR broke away, saying they would operate independently of FIFA. Colombian football was, as a result, sanctioned by FIFA, with the national team and all clubs banned from FIFA tournaments. Many assumed this would kill the new league dead, but instead, it caused the league to rise. The lack of FIFA regulations meant clubs could spend as they pleased, and they were not regulated by transfer fees. A nearby player strike in Argentina saw many stars on their head to the Colombian league, including Alfredo Di Stefano, who signed for Millonarios. Veteran Argentinian Adolfo Pedernera was also signed by the club, which was a huge statement, with newspapers across the country hyping up the signing. His debut for the club saw the gate receipts comfortably cover his signing-on fee. Many players from across South America would follow, and the popularity of the league was growing, with players coming from further ashore, including from Italy, Hungary, Scotland, and prize assets also came from England. Stoke defender Neil Franklin, described by Billy Wright as one of the best defenders England had, signed on for a quadruple his salary, and was also joined by Manchester United star striker Charlie Mitten, who was told by Matt Busby that if he didn't go, he would die wandering. The third Englishman to join the league was winger George Mountford. Many of the 1950 Uruguay World Cup winning squad would sign for Cúcuta Deportivo, and the game in Colombia had hit an unprecedented rise. Millonarios would be the most successful team in the Pirate League era, with Di Stefano as their star. At one point, they would travel to Spain to partake in a tournament to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Real Madrid, and Millonarios would defeat Los Blancos 4-2 to win the tournament. The league had its star team and man, but with unprecedented rise and high wages that the players are receiving, the bubble would soon burst. The three Englishmen in the league struggled to settle, disillusioned with the curfews in place, along with violence across the country, and only Charlie Mitten would stay in Colombia for a year. Teams across football were angry at their players being poached by the league, and clubs in Colombia were struggling to keep up with the financial demand. The inflating wages of players saw many clubs go bankrupt and have to withdraw from the league as they could not cover expenses, and as more teams withdrew from the league, the once high attendances began to fall. Colombian football was dying as quickly as it had risen, and the solution was soon needed to protect the Colombian game. In 1954, DIMAYOR agreed to the Pact of Lima. This decreed that in order to have a sanction by FIFA lifted, Colombian clubs could keep their foreign players until 1954, after which they could return to their previous clubs if the Colombian teams would not purchase them. The aftermath saw Colombian football in a wilderness, with many clubs gone and now the stands empty. The game had almost reverted back to what it was in the amateur days. The league had failed to take advantage of the knowledge of their imports by building academies to generate their own talent, and there was no succession plan. The only legacy left behind were memories. While the few clubs who had come out shining on the other side were Atletico Municipal, who had focused on only signing Colombian players, and in the aftermath of the Pirate League, were not shackled with debts and players leaving, and they won their first league in 1954. They would rebrand as Atlético Nacional and became one of the most successful teams in Colombia. The lesson to be learned from the Colombian Pirate League is very much a case of your wings burning if you fly too close to the sun. The Colombian League spent lavishly before they truly understood what they had, and a nation already far behind its fellow South Americans, as a result, fell even further behind. And there is a reason their national team has just won a solitary Copa America in their history. The league threw as much money at the wall to see what stuck, without building a long-term plan. And sadly, it appears the lesson has not been learned. China and now Saudi Arabia have made similar mistakes, exhausting funds to pay superstars in the hope the game will grow rather than investing in building their own talent. And as a result, the bubble has burst too quickly, resulting in the game becoming lost. To become a great league, you must create your own superstars, not just buy them. And one is left to wonder what might have been had Colombian football focused on developing its own talent, rather than just throwing money at it.